Welcome. You're listening to the Disney Twin Podcast. Welcome. You're listening to the Disney Twins.
I'm Marianne.
And I'm Ariane.
And welcome to episode 5.
The Flower and Garden Festival.
Yes, I'm really excited because I just got back from visiting Epcot, and the Flower and Garden Festival just began. It has extended days this year. It's running for 90 days. It began on March the 2nd.
Yes.
And it's running till May the 30th, so through Memorial Day weekend, basically.
Yeah. It's really funny because I'm going back and I'm talking about, our favorite time of the year and everything. And it's amazing how much things have changed and how excited and how much I'm very excited to go to this event.
Yes.
And last year was the first time we'd ever been to the Flower and Garden Festival. And this is actually predates the Food and Wine.
It is older.
It's like
it's the older festival,
I think. And I always looked at it as like, this is for Grandma and Grandpa to go.
My grandmother, that's one of the reasons I started going, because my grandmother loves flowers.
And I did not inherit my grandfather's green thumb. I actually have more of a black thumb. Yeah. And so we could just kind of shied away from this. And then in 2013, they started integrating food into the kitchens and stuff, and music and the concerts. And so last year, because of Anna and Elsa, because they were like pretty much the mascots.
Yeah, Frozen Fever had just come out.
Frozen Fever just came out, and so we decided to take Ainsley, and I think we went a total of 3 times last year, and absolutely loved it. And I didn't realize how much I loved it until it opened, and I was excited. I'm really salivating at the mouth to know about this festival, this year's festival.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah,
well,
it's like my new favorite. I think this is really my new favorite now.
Oh, it's cool. See, so the Flower and Garden Festival, for those of you that don't know, much like the Food and Wine Festival, it is at Epcot. And it is if you are a flower and garden aficionado, if you are someone who's really into either the growing of things or they have a whole side of it on fresh eating and farm raising. I'll talk about that in a second. But for people who are at all interested in that, it's paradise. First off, it started, when it started in 93, it was all about the topiaries, and still is, to a certain point. So they do characters all around World Showcase, and they used to always kind of consistently match them up with countries. So like Beauty and the Beast were at France, and Pinocchio was in Italy. But now
they've moved Elsa and Anna from last year being up in the front. They've now moved them in Norway.
Norway, right? So there are a couple of places where they stage sites for pictures, right? Picture stops. The first is right behind Spaceship Earth. There is a sort of flowery area, and right now they're all sunflowers, but they're topiaries of sunflowers. That's really pretty. A couple of years ago, when they introduced the Lion King ones, they were there. It was cool. So I have a couple of pictures with Rafiki holding baby Simba.
Oh, right in front of the glow.
Another station that's behind the Dancing Fountains, and that had Huey, Dewey, and Louie, which is kind of cute. Okay. Yes, and then there's another one closer by where they do when you walk into World Showcase, where they have the Christmas tree. And this year they had the Fab Five.
Okay, and is that sponsoring the parks? Because I know they're doing this big, huge thing because it is the 100th anniversary, I believe, of the National Park System. So
there's Ranger Mickey.
Okay.
So I did not know that, so that makes sense why Ranger Mickey featured so prominently. And if you are looking back, so if you're on the World Showcase side, looking back towards Spaceship Earth, that whole embankment by Figment side is all done with gorgeous fresh flowers.
The picture. You posted this picture.
It's gorgeous.
And everyone's like on Facebook commenting about like, oh, you guys are so happy. You guys are adorable. I'm like, that looks gorgeous. I'm like commenting about the flowers.
I was just grateful that I got the child. I got the child to smile. There's always a story behind every picture, and on that particular picture, she was not having the smile. So we're trying to help, but we do selfies a lot. And the reason that I do a selfie is
Please tell me you don't have a selfie stick, though.
I don't have a stick.
They're not allowed anymore.
They're not allowed in Disney anymore. I don't have a stick.
Because some idiot decided to get on a roller coaster and try to decapitate himself and impale him and 5 other people on the ride. This is in California, so thank God bless Disney and saying no more selfie sticks.
Well, we have
sorry.
No, but I do. I not that I have a fairly long arm, but I usually am the the taker of the selfie. And the reason we started doing selfies is we couldn't get Ginny to smile.
Oh.
But if she sees herself in the screen,
Oh.
good narcissist that she is, she smiles. So she smiles for selfies. So we're
Good
standing there
girl.
trying to take a selfie with the flowers behind us, this
Uh-huh.
particular beautiful vista, along the little lake by Journey to Imagination. And this couple stops and offers to take our picture. I said, oh, it's okay, it's just for a selfie. So then they kind of stand there and they're watching us. And we're having a little moment with our child who now is not going to smile because she's being watched
by awkward people.
by strangers,
Yes.
right?
Oh.
So and they're like, really, we can take the picture for you. I go, really, it's okay. See, she sees herself in the screen and she smiles. And the lady goes, well, she's not smiling now. And I almost was like, listen, lady. And especially when you're at that moment, parents out there, when you know you're about to have a little meltdown, and you certainly...
You are going to have the meltdown, not the child.
Well, no, I was going to have a meltdown, but the
no,
child...
I've been where I've been the one. Nah.
The child is about to have a meltdown, and the last thing you want is someone helping you parent at that moment. When you just want to pretend that you're by yourself and you can just get down into your child's face and go, listen. So I'm trying not to lose my cool. The baby's trying not to lose her cool. Finally, they moved along and we ended up getting a lovely picture, which is now my Facebook profile
It's gorgeous.
picture.
I love it. And the flowers behind her are amazing.
Yes, so thank you, or no thanks anyway, to the couple that tried to help us entertain our child and get her to smile.
I will say though, I'm that person that when I see people struggling to get pictures and stuff, I always go up and offer. I'm like, can I take a picture? And this is before selfies.
You don't
and
linger
phones.
though,
Like,
and
no,
watch
I don't.
them.
No,
they look like they're about to have a tantrum. Let's watch.
Get the popcorn, honey.
All right, thank you. Move along. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. We had another moment. Oh, my husband's going to hate that I bring this up, but it's just one of those moments at Food and Wine, actually at the exact same place. So physically the same location. Somehow we
need to stop there.
Well,
Stop going to that spot.
They're little bistro tables because it's in between two of the food kiosks. So it's a
Okay.
good place to stop and put your junk down and take a nice picture, right?
Oh, okay.
So, but we had done that, except at Food and Wine, those bistro tables are packed with people because it's not too far from Canada and Puerto Rico, or which I'm sorry was Dominican Republic last year. It's a little popular hub right at the entrance. And I had the hood of the stroller up because Genevieve was napping. My husband had placed his recently purchased food tray right on top of the hood. About that time that Ginny woke up and sits up and flips the hood back and the food goes everywhere.
Yeah.
So you don't want to lose your cool at the child because it was totally an accident. But right about that time, this family of Drink Around the World people walk by and they're like, "Oh, dude." And they almost said, you could feel someone about to say, "Sucks to be you," but they didn't.
Yeah.
Thank God, because my husband would have lost his marbles.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing enough to have something like that happen, and it's even made more compactful with your, friendly strangers going, "Dude, that sucks." Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for helping.
Thanks. And I will say, this is the reason why I think I'm now starting to gravitate. I used to love Food and Wine. I thought Food and Wine was like the best thing that they've had. But in recent
really
years,
crowded now. Really bad.
Recent years, it's become almost like the DeVoe crawl down in Key West.
Yes, it's definitely my sister-in-law did it for her bachelorette thing, and they had a blast. But it's definitely a bar crawl.
It's starting to become a little obnoxious. I think that's why I'm starting to really enjoy the flower and garden a little bit more. It's a little more relaxed.
We're moving into that age of our lives.
I know. Yes, I'll get the big sun bonnet hat next week.
They sell those.
I know.
For your gardening, and a trowel and some gloves.
There you go. But no, it's become I mean, we had people that were having a pirouette contest in front of us in November, and I'm like, really seriously, we're gonna try it. And she could not dance, period. So having a drunk person trying to do pirouettes in the middle of World Showcase is kind of trying to move around with a stroller and a baby. It's anyway, we ended up taking the baby.
less foodie and more drinking.
Yes. Well, and then that's where you end up with lovely YouTube videos of the guy trying to climb up the Mayan temple.
Which I have to say, I thought was a facade. I didn't realize I thought it was like a fake.
You know how the whole thing started. You actually, when they first designed it, so you can climb it.
Yeah.
And so you know that the dare was made by
one tequila, two tequila.
No, I bet you $5. I'll buy drinks in the next place.
What's the saying? 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, well, needless to say, that's why we have these big signs on the Mexico pavilion.
Not for
saying,
climbing.
Yes, please do not climb. And
that one does not apply to me, unlike the ones on the Osceola Parkway that do. I didn't stop this time. I just took it out the passenger window just for you. But anyway, the Flower and Garden Festival has grown far beyond just for garden enthusiasts, although I did get my first bonsai there. I am not a bonsai person. I killed said bonsai. Yeah, no. The actual little art of gardening, Japanese, I don't have that particular skill.
Yes. Sorry, I'm karate kidding here.
What was really funny was that, my husband and I were just dating at the time, so we made the progression of, bamboo plant, bonsai plant, fish, dog, bird, fish, bird, dog, child. And as we kept things alive, we figured we could progress to the next level. But the bonsai didn't make it. When you buy a bonsai, be very careful about where the bonsai is supposed to live when you live in Miami. Not every plant is meant for the extreme heat.
Ask your garden enthusiasts.
Yes. They're very helpful. So it's a great place for gardening, but it has expanded to be so much more than that. So topiary highlights for this year's Flower and Garden Festival include the one that's Ranger Mickey, and he's towards the entrance, as I said. They also have a lot of, in fact, they boast 70,000 bedding plants around Future World.
It's definitely where you want to get on the monorail and you want to take the monorail around it just to see all the flowers and to really get a good... Because you're walking by in the gardens and you kind of see it, but when you get away, then you see the shapes that they're creating with it, and then you're like, oh my gosh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
But it's not until you kind of span back
see it from afar.
Yeah, but it's definitely...
And they have a butterfly garden, a walk-through butterfly garden.
Which is Ainsley's favorite thing to do. We spent 45 minutes in there last year, and she's still to this day, I want to go get my butterfly stamp. I want to go to the butterfly garden.
It's right through as you're walking towards World Showcase, facing the American Adventure. It's on the right-hand side, and it's walk-through. It's beautiful, and there are butterfly topiaries to mark the entrance as well, so it's hard to miss. Yeah. But definitely worth seeing, especially if you have a little girl who's a butterfly enthusiast.
But it's really cool because they'll actually go in there and show you how to get into where they'll land on you.
Yeah.
And it's from what my Instagram stalking of everybody this past weekend, since I was at home sitting on my couch.
Eating Toblerone and cherry coke?
No. I was, the line for that was, people were posting pictures of the lines, and the lines to get into that was very deep.
Yeah, and the food lines, because the introduction of the food kiosks that are very similar to Food and Wine is relatively new to Flower and Garden. So they do have some specialty food items there. The one for the Pineapple Promenade, which served the Dole Whip, was probably one of the longest. The other one that was pretty long was La Isla Fresca, which is, they have like a Jamaican jerk spice kind of Caribbean flavor stuff, and that was also quite long. Okay. So I think as they expand the food offerings, maybe that'll diminish a little bit. I'm not sure.
Last year, the outdoor kitchen was one of my favorite kiosks to go to, and you should be able to access these menus in the kitchens if you go into your My Disney Experience app and you go in. It does list these, and they have the menu items, so you can kind of favorite the ones that you want to go to and hit.
Yeah, the one that's by Journey to Imagination, that's the Urban Farm Eats, that has like a little sitting area, and again, it's you get to experience the tapas kind of serving of Food and Wine, but without the mob of people that Food and Wine has.
And they do have some very lovely adult-friendly drinks.
There's a cider house now. Yes. That was over by United Kingdom.
I was very excited because last year I was pregnant, so I couldn't partake in the Dole Whip with rum. But I did get the violet icy slushy thing.
Oh, cool.
That was delicious.
Yes.
And so definitely make sure, and I know that one is back on the list this year. So
others on the list too. Florida Fresh, which is one of the kiosks that is available during Food and Wine also. That's all Florida grown stuff. That was between Morocco and France. There's one at France I think it was called Fleur de Lis. The smokehouse at American Adventure was really popular. Yeah, and so it's brisket and sliders.
You smell it like from Germany.
They pump that in. There is one. There's the beer garden bar. I don't speak German. Sorry, but there's one of those at Germany too. And Primavera Kitchen at Italy was serving up as well.
I'm honestly, with doing both events last year, I was more satisfied with the food at Flower and Garden to the food and wine.
You get to enjoy it. I mean, my all-time favorite at Food and Wine is Canada. Mm-hmm. The cheese soup. The cheese soup, which I've attempted to make. They actually posted the recipe. They left something out because my attempts to make it have. I am not ready to be a chef at Le Cellier. They left a secret ingredient out of that recipe, but that's definitely one of our favorite. That and Greece, which happens to be right across, which is why we had the little faux pas with the stroller hood, because we were right there. But as we said, because Food and Wine, they do their best to serve the masses really quickly. I almost feel like you in turn scarf the food down rapidly and move on to the next thing because there's so much to cover. Mm-hmm. Because there's not as much food at Flower and Garden, you can kind of savor it a little bit more. Yeah. The other thing that is growing in popularity is the Garden Rocks concert series, which is kind of like Eat to the Beat at Flower and Garden. What? Are you making a face?
I'm sorry. This is where Universal, hands down, has a better selection. Their Mardi Gras series of concerts so far.
Well, the Gin Blossoms are coming this year. I'm okay with it. And the Village People?
The Village, well, not the original Village People. No, Hermits. Okay, they're still alive?
The funny part is that, Blood, Sweat, and Tears featuring Bo Bice is going to be there at some point. And because I have a friend who was in Mulch, Sweat, and Shears at Hollywood Studios.
A friend.
Well, no, it's not. No, not that friend. Not that friend. Jim Doyle?
Yes!
You know Jim.
Yes. No, I know Jim Doyle.
Because he's just a friend. He's not a friend. Okay. Hi, Jim.
Yep. No. That's right. That's because our connections in the theater community, Margaret and Gina know Jim.
Yes, and Jim and I did improv together at Just the Funny in Miami. So anyway, Jim. Hi, Jim. If you're listening, he is a member, or was a member, I should say. Well, is because they're still doing stuff of Mulch, Sweat, and Shears, which is hard to say. Mm-hmm. But that was on the Streets of America, New York, back at Hollywood Studios, and closed recently. Their band show closed. Fantastic band, but of course a takeoff on Blood, Sweat, and Tears. So when I saw that, I immediately thought it was them, and I was like, oh my gosh! And wait a minute, it's just a pun. But I have to say they would probably have done better to get Jim and the guys from Mulch, Sweat, and Shears. Yeah. Given that it's kind of garden themed. So Disney, you missed the boat on that one. They do their best with the Garden Rocks series, which is at the America Gardens Theater across from the American Adventure.
I guess I'm not so interested. When I see the lineup, I'm like, okay. And they had Tiffany last year, which when they marketed, they put new, like asterisk beside it, new Tiffany, and I'm like, wait, there's a new Tiffany? And then my friend was like, no, it's new in their lineup, and I was like, oh, okay.
Well, they also have.
She's not this year. It was last year.
She's not this year. Now you can check out the lineup this year. It does include the Gin Blossoms. Which is probably one of the only people that maybe people have heard of. Georgia Satellites, though.
You guys are missing the boat. I'm sorry. You need to get the Bare Naked Ladies, and you need to have them.
They need to bring back Off Kilter from Canada. Yes. I'm a little upset. Speaking of Bare Naked Ladies, because Off Kilter is a fantastic loss to, and Mo Rockin was the other one. Yeah. They could bring back because they were had cult followings.
And these two during those. Bring in during the special events. I kind of get, but So the series selection, I'm like, okay.
So maybe a misstep with the music, but so the festival center, as it is with Food and Wine, is at the old Wonders of Life. No, Wonders of Life is what it was called. Where Body Wars was.
It's only on the weekends, correct? It's only open.
Fridays, Saturdays. Oh, she's coughing.
Sorry.
Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 10 to 5. So you can go in, you can find seminars on gardening. I believe it's open more during Food and Wine.
Yes.
But they do have some horticulture stuff. There's an Institute of Food and Agricultural Science from University of Florida does presentations there. And you can also stop there and get merchandise and things unique to the festival. They also have fun, fresh weekend events that will be going on throughout April, partly to celebrate Earth Day. We mentioned in our previous episode that Earth Day is also the launch of the Rivers of Life.
Yes.
Rivers of Light, I'm sorry,
Light.
at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Light, not life.
It does say like Rivers of Life, though. It kind of fits with it. So
Yeah,
because I made that mistake of saying life.
Yeah, how dare you?
I know.
The one about the dead animals.
Yes.
Topic for another time.
Not about life at all.
It's about the absence of life. Moving on. But they do have some outdoor family fun weekend events happening throughout April. And the first weekend in April is Art in the Garden, which they are going to have unique works of art on display at the...
Yeah. It's a lot of different things that they're integrating into this festival. And, right now, they also have the egg...
The egg extravaganza hunt.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm kind of upset. I wish they had something to kind of go throughout the whole festival time.
Well, I will say Easter is early this year.
Yeah.
It's not always in March.
Yeah.
It's the first... Oh, my father-in-law would be very disappointed at my inability to rattle this off. It's the first Sunday after the first full moon after the equinox.
Okay.
I think that's the how Easter is determined.
Oh,
the first Sunday after the first full moon after the vernal equinox, which happens to be early this year, which is why it's in March. Sorry, Roger, if I got that wrong. But my father-in-law, the Episcopal priest, would definitely let me know when Easter is. But that's why sometimes it's in March and sometimes it's in. It can be as late as April.
I learned something new.
There you go. So, or you could just Google Easter and the year, and Google will tell you.
I believe it's the 27th.
The Oracle of Google will tell you Easter from henceforth.
Or just go to your phone.
Yeah, your phone will also tell you.
It's the 27th.
It's the 27th of March this year, and that is the end of the egg extravaganza. Yes. But so from now until then, you can enjoy that as part of the Flower and Garden, and it is very Easter and springtime. And actually saw, we talked about Disney bounding our last episode. I saw a lot of people showing up at Flower Garden this past weekend in spring dresses and sundresses.
There was one that I saw. This girl, she was actually had your purse. It looked adorable.
How dare she?
But she was in this cute little dress, and it was material of the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Oh, very cool.
Their little hats, they had little heads and stuff.
Yeah.
But somebody was like, "Oh my God, where did you get the dress?" And she goes, "Oh no, I made it." In the material, and I'm like. I immediately went into work today and I was like, okay, who's making me this dress? I would get the material. I found out what store it's in. I need this dress.
They were definitely coming. It kind of looked like Lily Pulitzer, Kentucky Derby kind of. A lot of people were dappery dressed up. Yeah.
It's cute.
To go and enjoy the festival.
Yeah.
And I will talk about, my favorite thing about this festival was the swag that I scored this weekend.
Yay, massive swag.
Because, as we learned with Food and Wine, if there's something you want, you best get it early because it will disappear off the shelves. So my tradition that I kind of started with my daughter, I don't know what I'll do when another child comes along, but we decided that every time we would go, we would get a different pin.
That's what we do.
For the different hotels that we stayed at.
Okay.
But now we've repeated a lot of hotels, and then we switched over to doing... if there was a special event.
That's what we do now too.
So our pin is from Flower and Garden, and the special edition, the limited release one right now features Mickey and Minnie.
That's cute.
Which is cute. However, the festival mascot this year, it was Anna and Elsa from Frozen Fever last year, but this year I'm super excited because it is Figment.
Yes.
2 tiny wings, eyes big and yellow, horns of a steer. What a lovable fellow he is. However... so I'm sporting right now my Figment magic band.
She got the magic band. I'm very excited about this.
I did get my magic band.
It's a little different too. It's as soon as I picked it up out of the box, I was like, "This is a lighter weight.
It's thinner. It's thinner. The actual mechanism, the SSID or whatever, the part that reads is the same, but the band itself is a bit thinner. And it's Figment is on, so it's blue, and Figment's on one side. So if you put the magic band on, he's on the exterior side, which is kind of cool because then he shows it a little bit more prominently.
Yeah.
And then there's flowers on the other side.
Yeah.
Due to a snafu, which I'll talk about in a second, I didn't get a chance to link this to my Disney experience while I was there. But we did find a video because each of the limited edition bands they have a little trick that they do when they scan when you use them.
Except for the Run Disney
The Run Disney ones you said don't, which is unfortunate.
It's very simple. Just do Mickey's runner, set, go! You have it pre-recorded for every race, okay? There's no reason why we can't.
Why you shouldn't have that,
and at least for race weekends.
Yeah. Now, is it only because your daughter has the Anna and Elsa one from last year? So it's Fast Pass and entry. It's every time you scan
only into that park. We went to the Magic Kingdom, and she was so excited because she was going to go up and do it, and I didn't do it, and she almost broke into tears.
Oh, so I'm glad that's a good tip. This is only at Epcot.
Work at Epcot, but we were told that it would only work during the festival, and we went in November, and it worked. And the face that she made, Mommy, it still works. So I'm like, oh yay.
Good.
Make a $30 purchase much more bearable.
It is. I mean, it's $32 for the limited edition Magic Bands. They went up in price. And they do have a special, this particular one, there's also an Easter one, has a chirping sound. It sounds like birds chirping.
Yeah.
Which I have to say I'm a little disappointed in, Disney, if you're listening, because they made a big deal about Figment being the mascot. He's on the purses. I'll talk about that in a second. And it was like it's adorable. He's Figment. He's holding up the little potted plant. He's purple and very spring. And you would think that it would have his,
sort of
laugh or something like that. Figment is the only voice that I do. And he's not there. And it doesn't even really light up purple. It lights up spring colors.
Yeah.
But you would think it would really purple out for Disney.
Well, with the Anna and Elsa, it kind of lit up as a flower, and then it kind of made the whooshing sound of Elsa's magic happening.
Yes.
So that that was neat. And so you would, I assumed that Figment would sort of do the same thing.
No, it chirps like a bird, which again, in fact, I'm surprised we haven't heard my bird this particular episode because he's usually chirping. He's probably taking his, taking his afternoon nap. But so it makes that sound basically, which I didn't need to pay to hear because I live with a cockatiel. But that's fine. I'm very grateful to have my Figment Magic Band.
And I like the fact that it's lighter.
It's light.
Yeah,
with the limited edition band, well, with any band really, the battery life in them is about 2 to 3 years. So when you make the purchase, don't expect that forever and ever, amen, you're going to get that special magic happening when you use it. The other thing is when you do purchase a limited edition Magic Band at the store, they will offer to link it to your My Disney Experience account. Once it's linked to one person's account, it cannot be switched over to another person. They let me know that. They're non-transferable. However, when they went to link mine, the system was very busy. It must be because it was the first weekend of the festival, or it was just a busy weekend, and they were not able to do it. So make sure when you purchase your Magic Band that they link it. It's called Link It Later, and they have to do that in the store. If not, you will be calling and you will be on hold with Disney. They're very helpful, but you will be on hold with the Disney help desk people to try to link you up. It's kind of like a gift card. If you purchased a gift card at a store, they have to activate it when they sell it to you. Mm-hmm. They have to do that with the Magic Band, or it's an extra step that requires the IT department to chime in.
Because it's interesting, because when we got our Run Disney ones during Marathon Weekend, it was just in the box. And then, I guess anything that you would get at a gift store, you would just kind of, then you have to put it in yourself. But these are different. They're in boxes. Mm-hmm. The boxes are really cute, too.
Adorable.
I actually keep the box from Elsa.
I might keep the box, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I know people keep stuff like boxes and things like that to resell it. I don't think I would ever resell it.
No, but I keep hers in the box, and that way we know that this is her flowering garden. And so, So yeah, but no, the box is adorable.
And I was going to link it to my daughter's, but she's 3 and I don't think quite appreciates the magic that is Figment yet. Even though she's a Figment fan.
That is yours. That is totally yours.
I mommed out on this one, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy it. Especially because she's still pretty little, and I would hate to have to take... with Magic Bands, you can take the exterior gray part off.
Oh, no, we did not do that for Anna and Elsa.
Because, they paint... Just to let you know, when you have them, they paint over that part. So if you were to do that, you would kind of miss part of Figment's foot. So I wouldn't want to do that. No. But it also features... You can see the monorail in Epcot and a topiary of... Sorcerer Mickey.
Very cute. I definitely have that on my list to get.
But the biggest get of all is the Dooney and Bourke.
Okay.
I'm so excited. They are featuring Figment in the print. There aren't a lot of videos, so I feel like I'm hot off the presses with this. There's only the one official Disney Parks video that I could find where the guy shows the purses, but he kind of just shows them quickly.
And you don't get a real good close up close detail to it.
Yes. So the Dooney and Bourke, they have 3 purses. They have the crossbody, the small satchel. I'll go into detail on that in a second, and the wristlet.
Okay.
The wristlet is a standard Dooney and Bourke wristlet. I didn't buy it because I thought, frankly, it was $100 and something for a wristlet. I don't use them that often. And then
I would end up using that though as a wallet.
Yeah.
Inside your bigger purse.
When I have the Disney sketch print in I don't know what it's called. It's not a wristlet, but it's like a flap over. And it's basically here. In fact, I can take it out and show it to you. It's basically my makeup case. I don't know what this is called.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But, and I've had it forever. It was when this
but
Disney
that's not a
sketch
Dooney and Bourke.
Yeah, no, it's
Oh,
Dooney.
it is? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it's a purse, but I took the chain out.
Oh, yeah.
So it would just be like a mini purse.
Yeah.
A child would fit stuff in this. For me, it's just a makeup case. It's really tiny. But the crossbody is actually not as small as I thought it would be. The print is really beautiful. It's a teal with flowers, and it features Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Figment. And Figment is looking quite adorable. So I'm really excited about this. It does have the new Dooney smell.
Let me smell it again.
You may smell, yes.
It smells good.
The crossbody has 2 interior pockets for cell phones. 3 interior pockets and a little zipper spot. And
Does it have a key?
A key fob, yes it does.
That is my favorite.
If you use it, it's fantastic. If you forget to use it like me.
That is my favorite feature on the Dooney and Bourke purses. I got it on my first one that my mom got me. And then, of course, when I got the Flower and Garden one, it's from last year.
Yeah, you have the big satchel, which I'm jealous of.
This is, and this was my Mother's Day gift / I'm having a baby, I need a baby bag. So this is, and I have the big one. It was $268. I cannot tell you how many compliments I've gotten on this bag throughout the year.
It's the black and white print with them. They're on like old-fashioned bicycles. Really pretty.
And from a distance, when you look at it, it gives you that look, and you're like, oh, it's really cool. And you see more of the bicycles, but until you look really up close to it, you can see that it's Disney characters. And so I do love it. I've definitely become a fan of the Dooney and Bourke purses at the parks, and I'm hoping maybe to score another one, hopefully in April with the Star Wars that are coming out. But I do like them. I know they're expensive, but...
they are. You can use your annual pass or your DVC discounts to get 10% off. The crossbody was, I think, $207, and then the satchel was $247. For me, the $40 difference, I mean, the satchel is not any bigger in the actual size of the purse. It's just whether or not you prefer... It's the arm thing. Yeah. If you like to carry it on your arm, it is very small to put your hand through. And I don't have big hands, and still I was like, I don't know if I'll really carry it like this.
It's kind of awkward if you have children too, as far as...
I'm very much a crossbody. Now the satchel does have a crossbody option.
Okay.
So you can put the strap on and crossbody it if you want. With the crossbody, you really only... It's adjustable, but that's how it's meant to be carried.
Right.
And it's fine with me. I see more and more people walking around. Vera Bradley also had a new series out for the Flower and Garden Festival that's more purple.
Oh, okay.
I have my other crossbody is Vera Bradley. Like Ariane, I love the Disney purses, and it's kind of funny, even though I'm a big Disney fan, my other Disney Dooney is the rainbow one of Mickey's silhouette. So from far away, you can't really tell what it is. So I like that it's not overtly Disney, because when I do go into business meetings and things like that, I don't like to be too ostentatious with my purses. So it's subtle enough, but it's not, it's still an homage to Disney without being in your face.
Yeah. There was a really cute one. I think it was It's a Small World, that as I was at Target one day, and I was walking with my bag, of course, and I'm walking behind and I'm looking at this bag, and I'm like, that looks... I was like, wow, that's such a pretty purse. It looks almost like It's a Small World. And the closer I got to it, I realized that it was, and I was like, I love your bag. And she's like, oh, thanks, I got it at Disney. I'm like, really? And she looked at mine. She goes, oh my gosh, you got the new one. I was like, yeah. She goes, oh my God, I love your purse. And I was so... Two women,
well, the only
complaint
about the purses is that they only have those 3 styles.
Yeah.
There's nothing big. So I would say the crossbody and the satchel are both medium size, and then the wristlet.
But here's the difference, though. I can't take my bag into the park. As much as I love it, I mean, I can put a laptop in it. It's great, but as far as going into a park, I can't do it. In fact, once we bought it at the park, it was so cumbersome to carry around. I ended up taking it out of its, the bag and everything, and I ended up loading everything into it to carry it. It became a little too much. At least with yours, you could feasibly take that into the park and enjoy it.
And it's funny though, I have to say, I my other Dooney that I have, I've never taken in, only because you and I pack differently. Although I tried my best to pack lighter in your honor. I take ponchos but I take an obscene amount of stuff. Even in the park, we have a big LL Bean backpack that I take everywhere. I always worry about shoving something this expensive and nice in, underneath a roller coaster seat or something to try. Yeah. Like when you get into Space Mountain, as an example, you have to make a plan. When you carry a big backpack getting into Space Mountain, of how you will get into Space Mountain with your backpack. So I climb in, and then I put the
one leg
under the leg down, and I fish my hand through. It's a whole system, right? Because then you have to reverse that system to get out. Not that I'm a big person, but I'm an average sized person. I'm not a peanut, so there's not really room for me and the bag comfortably.
Right.
I'm just, I'm 5'7", so I have to maneuver in.
Yeah.
Anyway, I always worry about squishing my beautiful Dooney bag, so I take the LL Bean book bag because I don't care if it gets gnarly.
When you have kids, your amount of stuff increases. I actually am very jealous of the people that just get to go and they just have to worry about themselves sometimes.
I was up at a conference. My university that I work for used to have their annual conference at Disney. They don't anymore, unfortunately. But we went over for dinner, and it was the first year of Magic Bands. So I'm like, well, I don't need my wallet because I've got my Magic Band linked, and it's not going to rain. And I was by myself. I didn't have my husband or my daughter.
It's like you feel liberated.
I literally just went with my body. I carried, and it was evening, so my light sweater I was wearing. I walked through the you didn't have to go guests without bags line. I'm like, what?
You feel so liberated.
And then every time you get up, we rode a group of friends. We rode a couple of rides, and I kept looking around for my bag. I'm like, nope, I didn't bring anything. Yeah. I'm okay.
It's very liberating.
It is.
And it's funny because I've gone from that where my family, we packed everything, and we always would get a locker, and everything.
We would take the dogs and use the kennel, the whole shebang.
Yeah. And so to go from that to my husband, where you don't need it. What are you carrying a water bottle for? Well, in case I get thirsty. Well, there's stands here. Yeah. What are you bringing this for? Well, in case I get hungry. There's have places to eat. So it was like one thing after another, and eventually I stopped taking a bag, and it wasn't until we had Ainsley 5 years ago. And it's funny because as they get older, my bag gets decreased.
I'm small now because we don't have the baby.
Yeah.
I mean, we would like to, but
it's a toddler bag. Like we ended up using like a little toddler. It's like the Pottery Barn Kids book bag.
Yeah, because she's potty trained, so I'm not lugging diapers and wipes and that anymore. But
so now that we've added Maddie to the fold, it's a little bit bigger. We had a sling bag that we were using, and it broke at the Halloween party, so I had to run in and get a bag. Which is a really cute drawstring. It's a nice, durable drawstring bag that I got. It's got like icons of all the parks and rides and stuff. So that's our bag now, and I stuff that. But if it doesn't fit into the bag, I don't take it. But after doing that, the Dooney and Bourkes, you kind of have to leave them outside, don't take them into the parks, though there's some really cute pictures of people with them in the parks and everything, so I'm kind of jealous.
We're jealous of that group. So there is a new, as I said, new Vera Bradley print that's out as well. So any other...
No, they have the passports, for those of you that have done the Food and Wine Festival with the passports, they still do sort of the same thing with this one. They have a topiary list, so you have to, it's not just doing
the food part.
The food part, it's the gardens. You go and get stamps for the gardens. You go and get, you mark off the topiaries that you see. So it's a little bit more interesting, and they've got a lot of play areas for the kids, which I didn't know they did. So that that was one thing that Ainsley absolutely loved, going and doing the gardens and the play areas. I think Cactus Road at Raleigh was her favorite place to go play last time. And so they do their best to try to kind of have seating areas for parents where it's kind of a little bit more.
Yeah, it really is just more. I mean, if you were picking between the two festivals to go to, as we said, it's a bit more laid back than Food and Wine,
and you don't have to worry about being pirouetted on.
That's true. Although I have to say, this was the first year that we passed more than one group with Drink Around the World kind of T-shirts, and I don't want to make a judgment call, but it's just I don't know, it's a different atmosphere to Disney that it maybe once was.
Yeah, I think I'll let you know what started as a few people doing has now become like a cultural thing where you want to, everyone's like, oh, let's go drink around the world.
And it's encouraged because especially at Food and Wine, you get your passport and you're encouraged to get stamped and check off different things, which again, I'm fine. If that's how you want to enjoy Disney, I have absolutely respect for everybody doing their own Disney thing.
But be responsible. Remember that there are children around, because I know there were a lot of complaints with people, you have drunken, there are people that are flat out drunk. And then they say, even employees are saying, or your cast members are like, well, it's just best at this certain time in the day to leave if you have small children. I'm like, that's not the answer, though. Yeah. That to me is not the answer.
Yeah, you don't want to see Disney lose the focus shift. It was at its heart a place for kids and families to imagine and dream. I think that was Disney's vision. They just had this fantastic stage show that Derek Huff hosted that was celebrating Disneyland's 60th. So a lot of that magic is still there, and not to say that there aren't places and ways to enjoy Disney without kids, but I think the mentality of, well, at Food and Wine, you should expect people to be drunk and
I don't think that's
take your kids home. No, you guys should be responsible.
Yes, exactly. And I think for Disney, they need to figure something out as far as a limit to what people can drink. And I used to be a regular Karen Walker in my day before I had kids. I could hold my own. Duval crawls, I've done. But you need to be responsible. You don't need to be to the point where you're throwing up. And when you are throwing up in a park, you need to go back to your room.
You go to Duval Crawl, which is it's a famous pub crawl in Key West, when you go to Duval Crawl, you don't bring your kids to that because it's not for that.
Right.
But Epcot,
it is for kids.
Mexico it's got 3 singing birds.
Ducks.
Yeah,
3 caballeros. To me, it would always be the Rio del Tiempo.
That's true. But it's really hard to say, well, this is a drinking fest, and then go in and watch.
But it's not in a way. There are aspects that you have. Hello, Remy's Hide and Squeak was there, and so you have, there's
it's hard. Don't puke on the Anna and Elsa topiary.
Exactly. So maybe that's why I'm enjoying this a little bit more, is because it's not as crazy, and it's something that my daughter, she loves flowers. She's the one that wants to have fresh cut flowers in our house, plants and stuff. So she definitely did not get that from my side of the family. I think that she may have. It's from my grandfather and my grandmother, but or from my husband's father and mother, that they love to garden. But definitely, I love it. It's my new festival.
And if you were into stuff for your garden, wind chimes. Things like they have these sort of spinner things that are they're like optical illusions, and there was a castle in the middle. I almost bought one. I came really close because my in-laws love stuff like that. And a lot of the stuff this year, garden gnomes and things like that, were Star Wars themed.
Star Wars. I saw the Yoda
rock. So definitely thematically, Disney does not miss a beat when it comes to stuff like that.
And if you are a pass holder, be sure to check out the pass holder merchandise. Be sure that you go and check that out. Now, my biggest tip for these festivals, even though with the Magic Bands, I always get a gift card, and I always load the gift card when you're going to the little kiosk, because I will tell you, nothing runs you faster through money than those outdoor kitchens and the Food and Wine kiosks.
Yes.
So I definitely, if you are on a budget and you need to stick to a certain, because you can use some for your meal plans if you're on the meal plan, but it doesn't work as a meal.
And they sell them for Flower and Garden also. The little cards.
And it comes on. It's like a little mini card, and it's on like a little elastic band, and get that and load it up with $50 or $100.
And that's my limit.
That's what I want to do. And then once you're done, and it's just one charge to your Magic Band or through your credit card or however.
And a great gift for people too. Yeah. I mean, if you do know people that are coming to Food and Wine, when my sister-in-law did it for her bachelorette party, I know that people gave her Disney gift cards. And then they did a monorail crawl, and that's which they kind of just kept to the monorail. I thought it was really cute. They made shirts, but they loaded it up on their little charge card, and that way it also gives you a drinking limit too. Because when you're out of money,
you're
it's
done.
time to go home.
You're done. Yeah,
we're cutting you off.
To me, because when you get the bill, I remember one of our friends did the Food and Wine Festival, and they were like, they got the bill, and they were like, "Is this right?"
You could go sit and eat at Le Cellier for less.
Yes, exactly. And I was just like, I looked at their bill, and I went over to my husband, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you would not believe how much money they spent."
Oh yeah, you could.
But when you're
every little dish is $5, $10.
And you're getting your little stamps, and you want to get your stamps done. It's but
and some of the $8 here, and it's a couple bites of food, which it's a lot of fun. But then, like you said, it does rack up the cost quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
I lots of things that are just delicious on this. The spicy hot dog with the pineapple chutney and the taro chips were from last year, and that was at the Pineapple Promenade. So
the line that must have been the line for that one was particularly
and the Dole
long.
Whip too. It didn't hurt that you got the Dole Whip, and that was actually the same place where the Desert Violet Lemonade was. Which was delicious. But the food selections at this one, I think are just really
don't. I guess my advice is don't discount Flower and Garden. It's not just for grandmas anymore.
No, it's not.
And we are not grandmas.
No.
Gosh darn it.
No, and I don't garden. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I do not.
Charlie, my cactus, is still alive, and we've had Charlie for 12, 13 years now.
Mazel tov.
Yeah, thank you. We didn't name him until he was like 7 or 8.
Like he deserves a name.
Yes, he does. He's lived this long with us, so we're not garden people. But,
and it's also just a spectacular place to enjoy nature's beauty, and Disney does a wonderful job keeping all the flowers fresh all the time normally. So to see it kind of on steroids at the Flower and Garden Festival is pretty cool.
It's pretty impressive. Yeah.
So that's our Flower and Garden episode. Do let us know if you have any questions. We'll have show notes. As always, our blog, which is
the
DisneyTwins.wordpress.com.
Yep.
And
follow us on Instagram too as the_Disney_twins. Because we do have some pictures, and we'll have pictures mostly of the really close up pictures of the purse and of the Magic Band and stuff there.
So thank you very much for joining us, and see you next episode.
Okay, bye.
Bye. You've been listening to the Disney Twins podcast.
All show notes and information are available at our blog, thedisneytwins.wordpress.com.
Thanks for listening, and be sure to join us for our next episode. I'm Marianne.
And I'm Ariane.
And we're the Disney Twins.